Good evening, model railroaders. How's everybody tonight? Let's see who we've got in here. Oh, I see my lovely wife is in here tonight. How are you doing, honey? Hi, Creepy013. How are you doing? Dwight Curley, good to see you in here. Good to see our moderators in here tonight. Grandpa Rails, how you doing? Heath, Humanity Junction, great to see you tonight. Jerry with a J, how you doing? Martin Searsma, good to see you. John from Schuylkill River Valley, great to have you in here tonight. And of course, Sparky 107 is here. Of course he would be here, checking up on me. Closet Branch, how are you doing tonight? I think this is it working. Everybody hear me okay? Alex Brockway. All right, well, one of the things we wanted to talk about tonight, we're going to go over the gifts for the Christmas giveaway on Christmas Day at 4 p.m. Eastern. But the main topic of tonight, wanted to talk about everything we've learned in the hobby over the years that we've been doing it. Who else we got in here? Nate Jackson, New Durham Junction Model Railway. Dave BNSF N Scale, how you doing? CP 3368 Productions. Sparky, you have changed. Yeah, I'm Sparky's alter ego tonight. High Plains Railroad, how are you doing? Martin Searsma, when is Christmas? December 25th, Martin. Same as it was last year. The Christmas live stream is going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern, Christmas Day. I hope everybody can join us. It's going to be a great afternoon. Getting everybody together for some fun and craziness. Dragon Lover 68, how are you doing? Who else we got in here? True Dudes Model Trains, how are you doing? New Durham Junction Model Railroad, how are you doing tonight? I'm not sure whether I've mentioned you yet or not. North American Trains. Thayer Subdivision, how are you doing? Oh, the heater just came on. Give me a sec, I forgot to shut it off. New Fenris Railroad, how you doing? Lynn McCurdy and the HDMMRC. You like the sweater, do you? Keeping it with Christmas. Caboose 121, good to see you. We won't be able to chat, but we'll be watching. You busy working on the layout? Dave BNS. Cold in Ontario. Yeah, it was about -6 today, and it snowed all day today. How is it in Arizona? Freddie Railroad white trim on the pants. Cool. Yeah. Keeps me safe. John Tanzillo, how are you doing tonight? Kyle Stevens, good to see you in here. Ethan Armitage, how are you? Only made 70 today. Huh. Sucks to be you, Dave. So one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight was what we've learned over the years in the hobby. Um, I've been in the hobby since I was a kid and got away from it in my teen years, and slowly got back into it. Really, actually, only within the last uh, 12 years, and with kind of getting hooked on YouTube and following other model railroaders, I've picked up on a lot of stuff, and I'm sure we all have, and that's kind of how we got to where we are today. But I want to know from you guys, some of the things, all the different tips and tricks and techniques that all the YouTubers have posted. Um, what have you found to work out best for you? Like in track work, scenery work, wiring, some of the new tech stuff. And speaking of the tech stuff, I've just started using JMRI and the DC++ EX, and that was a challenge, I'd have to say. Uh, and I'm not computer literate. I'm still kind of old school, Commodore 64, Commodore PET, and I had problems with it, and with with help from people on YouTube, I managed to get my way through it. But it was a struggle, and like everything else, it's a learning process. Um, but it I want to continue learning. As we grow our model railroads, it's always a learning process and a learning curve, especially as things change. And I invite anybody who wants to come up and talk. I can post the link in the chat, and we can get a conversation going on this. Let's see here if I do this right. There we go. Oh, look at that. My lovely wife has done a super chat for $5. Well, as everybody's noticed, I am wearing a Christmas hat, and in true Sparky spirit, I have to put something on my head. Now, it's not going to be a wig tonight. We're going to keep it festive. So there. Thank you, Ollie. Sparky would appreciate that. It'd help out for the Christmas giveaway. So I posted the link up if anybody wants to come up and join in the conversation. So yeah, I'd like to know what you guys have learned. If you guys have had any struggles. So I've had struggles with some things. And any one of you that do follow me and have gone to my about page, one of the things that I do, or as I have stated, is that I'm building my model railroader as I can afford things. Doing it on the cheap, reuse stuff, um, repurpose stuff. But there's certain things that I've found that you can't just use on the cheap or repurpose. Um, like turnouts. Turnouts, in my opinion, you've got to get them new, especially in N scale, because they're already, they're so fiddly to begin with. Oh, hang on, we've got USA Rail Fan. How
Hey,
are you, USA Rail Fan? How are you?
so far so good. Taking over
Good.
for Sparky today.
Yeah, Sparky's away at work on a job a couple hours away from home, so I'm taking over the helm for him.
Dang.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Freddie Model Railroader. Another super sticker. Let's see what we got here for you. There. Thank you, Freddie Model Railroader. Hey, Roy Hardwick. Yeah, Sparky lost his hair. So, what scale do you model?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't mail because I rail fan a lot by the tracks in Phillipsburg, but
Oh, okay.
I just do rail fanning a lot. But depending on what the weather,
Yeah, yeah. Do you have any layout at all, or nothing? You just strictly rail fanning?
I just strict. Sometimes I usually have my trains right over there about my whatever around that little table right there. But I just strictly rail fan.
Oh,
Excuse me.
okay.
Sometimes I'm
So you're all broken up there.
nah, not really, not really. I'm gonna be. I should be making another. I should because I haven't been making a Walters order in a while, but I haven't been on Walters in a while because I'm trying to see how much money I can use.
Okay, you're all you're freezing up and breaking up. Dwight Curley, how are you doing tonight? Sorry I didn't see you earlier. I know you were in the live chat earlier. My apologies. And if I miss anybody, I'm sorry, because this is the first time for me and giving her my all. Whereabouts do you rail fan?
What's that?
I said, whereabouts do you mainly rail fan?
Um, Normally I rail fan in Phillipsburg, New Jersey, on Norfolk Southern Z High Line. I sometimes I rail fan in Pennsylvania a lot because I rail fan in Pennsylvania a lot, but
Yeah,
because I mean I did went to Horseshoe Curve over the from during Easter break, but I am planning to go back there again soon, sometime next spring or sometime. I'm not 100% sure when yet.
yeah. Well, it's good.
I mean, I've been trying to get out more often, but depending on what the weather of some sort. But I mean, I should be back out sometimes Saturday or Sunday, depending on because it's supposed to rain on Saturday. But I have to see how hard I'm going to get.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you're getting any weather like we get up here in Ontario, yeah, it's going to be warm and rainy on the weekend. It's been snowing here all day and cold.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it
Digger
says
Evans, how are you doing? Good to see you in here.
it says here on Saturday, Sheen, I'm supposed to get like about light rain, just showers or some sort, and then rain. Nothing serious, but
Hmm. Yeah. So, if you were to build a layout, what do you think some of the hurdles, um, you know, you would have to overcome to get a decent layout?
for me,
Yeah.
um, I've been trying to work on a layout. I've been trying to work on a layout since before COVID hit, but think, but I am trying. My dad and I are trying to do a plan B or sometime soon, but really not going to matter. But I'm still waiting to see how I can try and do this more often.
Right. Right. Well, I know some of the problems that I've been having, just laying track work. you see some of the YouTube videos out there, and they say, use uh, silicone cement, latex cement. Some people even use white glue. Um, Charlie from over the pond there, he uses a product called Copydex. Um, Myself, I've found that I've been using silicone glue, silicone caulk, to place my flex track and that down on the cork road bed. But what I'm finding is if I have any excess, glue isn't sticking to it. Paint isn't sticking to it because of the silicone base.
Wow.
So I have a section where I have to now pull up and pull the silicone caulk off and try something else.
Oh, I
Um,
see.
yeah, yeah. So that's one of the troubles I'm struggling with right now. John Tanzillo, you're still old style. You use track nails only for track. And you're, if I can remember correctly, you're N scale, right? Yeah, right, Roy. Use what you feel comfortable with. That's what I went with, the silicone base caulk. Um, but like I said, I'm finding that I'm having problems with it not adhering. Like the paints when I go to paint the rails. If I get any silicone that I haven't completely got off, um, it's just not sticking to it. My wonderful wife. How is the helix coming, Sean? Well, it's getting there. You know what it looks like. I've got all the parts. Just waiting for some time. Probably over the Christmas holidays, honey. We'll get down in the basement while you're doing your scrapbooking, and we'll start doing the helix. I've got all the tools to do it. It's just getting going. Ian, Lehigh River Subdivision, how you doing, buddy? Digger Evans, I think I said hi to you, but hello again anyway. Manny Fernandez, way to go. Thank you. Spark, you'll appreciate that. There. Now this one's supposed to light up, Manny, but the batteries are dead. Wigwag Workshop. Hey, how are you doing? Yeah, but aside of the silicone caulk, everybody talks about expansion and contraction of their track work. Um, I haven't myself had a problem, but the temperature in the basement seems to be pretty constant. So, but I would imagine Sparky is might see a bit of a problem with that. New Fenris, William, how are you?
Doing good. Hold on a second. Let me check my camera. Something's going on with it here.
I
All
can
right, it is the right one. Okay.
Yeah, I can see you fine. I can hear you fine.
Yeah, I just can't. Camera's like super focused.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's like way up on me. I was expecting it to be further back.
Oh, okay. So what?
You were talking about.
Go ahead.
I was saying you were talking about different stuff with layouts and that. It's like yeah, about 90% of my layout was or my terrain for my layout was game oriented. Um, and then using whatever I could scrounge off of construction sites. Being a commercial electrician, it's kind of like I outsource whatever I can for doing my bench work and everything.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of products So one of them I have. This is what I use for putting my track down. If I can get it up here without dumping everything on the computer. The Gorilla Glue adhesive.
Okay. Yep.
It's like a silicone-based caulk
Mm-hmm.
that's paintable, and that's what I use for putting my road bed and my track down with. And I just use push pins to hold it in place
Right.
because I do N scale, so the little like corkboard push pins work great because they sit just inside the track
Mm-hmm.
and they'll hold it down nice and firm for you.
Yeah, that they do. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Now, how is it like if you have to change your track layout or say you have to remove a section of track? How easy is that Gorilla Glue to come up?
Oh, it's very easy. All you need is like a putty knife, and you just slide it underneath the track, and you just, work it back and forth a little bit, and it peels right up. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
using white glue, but you don't have to spray it down with water. So that way, if you go to add your ballast and everything like that, your track's not pulling free from the glue.
Mhm.
I actually got that idea from It's My Railroad, Steve Brown,
Oh, yeah. Yep.
because he just ripped up his layout after 3 years and is
Yeah.
redoing it. He's saying he didn't lose a bit of his flex track, and I really didn't lose any of mine when I redid mine because I just had to redo mine here over about the last month or so since Carolina Renaissance Festival ended. Because all my radiuses were too short for the steam locomotives I have. They kept derailing. Well,
Oh,
one derailed. Part of me wants to sell it, but part of me is like, no, because I bought it. Um, it was the first actual DCC locomotive I ever bought, and that was the Kato 484 Union Pacific.
mhm.
I got the eight. I think it's the 840, 838, and I got it because I saw Vinny. Um, uh, my cousin Vinny was running his. He had the 833, and I liked it so much I ended up buying one
Oh,
because
yeah.
I had gotten out of trains for about 20 years and got rid of all my stuff that I had, except for two locomotives, and one of them was a Mini Trix 210-2 that I had that actually the motor burned up in it, and then I found out the chassis was cracked,
Oh,
so I couldn't replace anything in it.
no.
And then I've got a F7 Lifelike that's DC that I also have that I was going to run, but I decided to go DCC because of sound.
Yep.
I was like,
Mhm.
ooh, they do sound in N scale now. It's like awesome.
Oh, I know. Trust me,
So
for years, I have waited and waited and waited for that. And I have an uncle, and he's heavy into HO, but he's more a collector than he is building a layout. And he's got
yeah,
boxes and boxes and boxes of HO and DCC and all that. And I said, one of these days they're going to come out with N scale with DCC and sound. He's no way,
yep,
far too small. And then I can't remember, probably about, I'd say maybe 15 years ago, I saw a little yard switcher at a train show that had DCC and sound. I went,
yeah.
I've got to start getting some of those.
I'll tell you what, the DCC, I saw this at Spencer, North Carolina, at the Spencer Railroad Show. Z scale with DCC.
No way.
Yes,
That's crazy.
I didn't believe it at first. And I saw it running, and I was looking for the transformer, and the guy has a power cab like mine. And
Mhm.
I was like, wait a minute, Z scale and DCC, and he goes, oh yeah, they're all diesels. They don't have any steam at all. And I was like, well, Z
Mhm.
scale's not for me then. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, I've always loved steam. That's I've got 3 steam locomotives right now that I run on my layout, and
Huh.
really none of them are the road name that I was originally planning on doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Originally, I was doing the Chicago Northwestern, and I was going to do one part of my layout was going to be dedicated to the Geneva subdivision
Mm-hmm.
and the one stop in downtown Elmhurst. I was going to do the First Street station in downtown Elmhurst.
Right.
And
Right.
it's because that's where I grew up and always went back to visit my cousins who lived like 3 blocks from that train station either way.
Just hang
So
on to that thought
depending
for a
on,
second.
yeah, super chat.
Bolts Bailey Model Railroad. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah. Yep.
Tip
That's
for the new
Rick.
host. Well, I wouldn't say that I'm the new host. I'll be just the fill-in. And yeah, definitely not a celebrity spokesmodel. I can tell you that.
Uh, no,
And
but,
just want
yeah,
to get back.
depending on who's,
Sorry, Container Man had made a
uh,
comment about that I may use a bit too much silicone. And yeah, I would admit there are a few times that I have used a bit too much silicone. And
yeah,
the
there's
stuff.
been a couple times when I've been laying track that I'll lay the piece of track that my flex track down and I'll mark the end of it and I'll try and stop like an inch short and make the smallest bead that I can because I use a 2-inch putty knife that's around here. Oh, it's on the other side of the room. Never mind. That I usually use to spread my caulk out. I do a thin layer, just almost paper thin, and then just lay the track on it, push down on it, make sure it sticks, and then use the push pins to hold it in. Actually, do I? No, I didn't have it. I was gonna say, do I have the one done behind me? But I don't. I've got a mess behind me on the layout. I've been doing a
Hey,
lot of 3D printing, and I'm getting back into uh, tabletop models and that. And I've had some commissions that are actually sitting behind me here that are in the process of being worked on.
you
But I
haven't
just,
seen a mess like you've seen mine. Yeah,
oh, you
I,
can see it
I,
this shoulder. Let's say you
yeah,
can see part of it over this shoulder, and just this shed is a mess. Actually, that big pile of stuff back there is sheetrock that's for the walls
oh, okay,
that
yeah.
haven't finished sheetrocking in here.
Mm.
But I by the time August rolled around, I was getting ready to do a Renaissance festival, so it kind of
Cuts into the train time.
yeah, yeah, that and working 10-hour days now and
Yeah.
construction. I'm just like, oh,
Marky Saunders, how are you doing? Steve 87th. Peace app is in the house. How you doing, Steve?
yeah,
So what about like I was saying earlier, I've well, I shouldn't say kind of dabbling. I'm going towards DCC EX. I've got the components, got it all together, and I was having a heck of a time trying to get the Wi-Fi to work and all that. So
yeah,
without the help of guys like you and other people on YouTube, Tom's Trains and things, he set me in the direction to Scott Eric Catalano, and
yeah,
I mean he was a really big help, and there's quite a story behind that and quite a phone bill too, as my wife could attest the first night that I was talking to Scott on the phone. When they say unlimited nights and weekends on your cell phone overseas, they're not US.
yeah,
So the
yeah.
time
No,
tick
there's
the time is ticking away, and I hear, "You're at $110." So,
yeah.
we cut it short
Well,
over nights and changed the package until we got her all fixed up, but, frustrating as heck, man.
yeah, I had that when I originally did my layout in the house. It was on a 4x8 um, bench work that I built, and I originally started it as a gaming table, and was like, you know what? I found my box of trains, and I was like, I really want to build this layout. So I started building it, not knowing, you know, oversized grades and everything like that, and I can't go over 2% grade and everything.
Yeah,
And I started laying it out, and actually Vinny and actually Roy Container Man were like, that grade looks a little bit more than 2%. And I was like, no, it's got to be 2%. I figured it out. I thought I had it right. And I was like, my train's running up it great, but I had a few spots where it was jumping the rail. So we were trying to figure that out. And it's just over the last 3 years, it's been fun coming back. And I mean, the community has just been great on stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. The
Um,
community as a whole has been incredible, especially for
yeah,
me. And
yeah,
I wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for Sparky. Really, I
yeah,
started following him a couple years ago, and he's been slowly egging me on to do videos, which honestly, I'm getting behind on.
yeah.
Um, with
Well, that's what
spending
happened
time
with
here
me.
and
Yeah,
doing some of the live chats.
yeah,
That's my night. So
yeah. It's like really the kids are the ones that talked me into doing a video. They're like, you ought to do a video and put it out there. I was like, I don't even know if I have a channel on YouTube. And my oldest daughter's like, well, if you've ever commented on somebody's stuff, you've got a channel. You just got to figure out how to upload the videos. So I was
right.
like, okay. So I threw one up. And before I realized it, that was when I was just watching It's My Railroad. And then I started getting all these comments from everybody. And I started getting into different live streams and different chats.
Yeah.
And just things have grown. And, you know, I've had different ones ask me because they know I do a lot of tabletop gaming. So they're like, well, what do you use to do this? Like, what do I use for mountains and stuff like that? It's like pink
Mhm.
styrofoam,
Yeah. Yeah.
XPF foam.
Hmm.
Um, and then I've run across a couple of do-it-yourself sculpt the mold videos over the years, and I actually did one, and I can't remember who I originally saw the idea from, but I was using it on my original layout, and then like for alternatives for um, on the cheap and down low.
Hmm.
I do have a bag of it. Um, instead of hydrocal, I went with gypsum powder.
Oh, okay.
$3 or $5 for a 3-pound bag from Home Depot and Lowe's,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's great. Um, actually, I was on one time with Brian from uh, Denver and Rio Grande Iron Horse route when he was
Yeah.
doing his river. He was wondering about ideas because he didn't have the money really to get the Woodland Scenics water effects, and he was trying to come up with ideas, cheap alternatives for water effect. And I was like,
Yeah.
uh, isopropyl alcohol and clear silicone. Mix it together and you stir it up, and then you get the alcohol will break down the silicone and turn it into a water, and you can pour it out on your layout. The alcohol evaporates off, and the silicone will slowly harden down,
Oh, okay.
and you get a great water effect with it. Um, and then also cheap alternatives for like your water ripples and that. I've seen from people like Kathy Millett, Luke Towen, um, people like that
Arkland of Sweden, he did a good video on using
Markland of Sweden. Yeah,
toilet paper and hodgepodge more or less to.
yeah. Um, but it's uh, the paint medium, gloss medium
Mhm.
that Kathy Millett's used before for doing water effects. It goes down just like the water effects from Woodland Scenics, and you can still do all the stuff with it, but it's like half the cost.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, my wife
And
my wife, she does scrapbooking and mixed media art, and
yeah,
the things that I'm finding, stuff that she uses like gesso and different pastes and
yeah,
waxes,
oh
are
yeah,
quite
oh
similar to, and if not, could be used in our in
yeah.
our
Well,
in
that's
our
like something else I use. for hardening styrofoam is matte Mod Podge, and it's black because I've mixed black paint in it. I use it for my primer when I'm building terrain pieces, so that
Okay.
way I put that down and then I can spray paint um, styrofoam and it won't melt.
Oh, okay.
And another thing I found with rattle cans is if you hold it 15 to 20 inches from your foam, it won't eat the propellant has a chance to evaporate, so it's just the paint hitting it,
Hmm.
and it won't melt your styrofoam.
Right. Right.
That's something I found in the gaming community
Okay.
with guys talking about building tabletops and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, it's just
Yeah.
it's some of the little crazy things that people have that. Oh, that's better. I forgot my overhead light.
Hey, we
I'll
talk
sit there.
about doing things on the cheap. Like when I'm doing my board or mountains and scenery and that, I have not paid for one piece of pink foam board yet. The trick
The
is
only time I pay
find
for it
yourself,
is
yeah,
I
find
was about to say
yourself
the only time I. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
find yourself a construction site on a windy day and just start grabbing that stuff up because they don't want to pay somebody to go chase it around.
Yeah.
You know,
Um. Oh, I've hit them for styrofoam offcuts on the job site, whatever they were throwing out.
Mhm.
And I've got 1 inch, 2 inch, and then I've got 3 inch that I got off the last job site I was on. It was it's called the Plasmate from Dow. That
Okay.
is like super dense XPF foam that I've
Mhm.
yet to use. It's sitting on a shelf over here next to me. I haven't found a place to use it yet. But I was planning on doing that for doing some mountains and that on my layout, or even I plan on getting back into tabletop uh, gaming and doing gaming boards that are transportable, so they're modular boards.
Okay.
And it's there, yeah. There's so many alternatives for stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Joe Rader, how are you doing tonight? Sorry, I think you've been in here for a while, and I just noticed you. So I have my apologies, buddy.
I see JD made it. I didn't see him earlier.
Yeah, I think
Grandpa
John's been
Rails.
for a while. Yeah, he's been in for a while.
Uh,
Now, how are you in your shed? How are you finding with expansion and contraction with the
Actually,
humidity?
to be honest with you, I haven't had a problem with it. I've got a portable AC unit that I put in on the one side that keeps it right about 70 to 75 degrees, and then I just added a heater that's a little Duraflame heater that keeps it about it's 70 degrees in here. I've just got the jacket on because I forgot to take it off when I came in because it's kind
Oh,
of chilly outside. But other than that, no, it's. I think once I finish, right now I don't have the ceiling completely. I've got it insulated, but I don't have uh, the board up on the ceilings yet because I haven't had the time to redo the MDF board that I was putting on the ceiling.
right. Yeah.
But this summer was excruciatingly hot around August, and it was staying 70, 75 degrees in here. So I mean, it was. I shouldn't have any problems with expansion and contraction with the layout, and I try and keep real tight joints anyhow on my
Yeah.
with my
Yeah.
rail joiners. And when I get everything finished and laid out, I plan on going in and soldering everything down anyhow.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's one
So
thing I've been doing is I've been soldering. All my joints are soldered, with
yeah,
the exception of where I have the reverser.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Where you
um,
have isolated rail joiners, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Um,
yeah.
just missed a couple people that just came in here. Jeff Bennington and Elkhorn Valley Railroad. How are you doing? I think I saw Randall Ellison pass by here. Good to see you in here tonight, Randall. Uh,
Yeah.
one thing that bothers me is that I've noticed that everybody's saying your track work has to be perfect, like perfectly straight, perfectly flat. You know, as I drive around the area that I live in, and I could pick a 10-kilometer swath, and the track is up and down and up and down.
Yeah.
Some of the spurs and branch lines and that, and the track is like this. And
Yeah.
well, if I make a mistake and my track work is not perfect, I'm not sweating it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
See,
I'm gonna,
originally I tried doing that. I tried keeping it perfectly straight, and actually, another Canadian, who I won't bring up because it's kind of been a little feuding going on with stuff. Was like, your track. If you look at real track, it's never straight. There's
yeah,
dips, there's curves, there's bends in it, and I finally was like, you know what? I'm not going to worry if I lay a piece of track and you know the roadbed is nice and smooth, but the track goes like this down the roadbed. I'm not going to sweat it. And it's like
yeah,
when I go into ballast it, probably in about another, probably around the first of the year, I'll start ballasting the layout because
yeah,
I've got one like 10-foot section that I've got 3 tracks I've got to redo that I'll end up I got to get more roadbed. I ran out again.
yeah.
I had 4 boxes and I have no idea how I used 4 boxes on this layout. But then I thought about it and I was like, wait a minute, I've got
It goes pretty
10
quick.
feet. Yeah, 10 feet, 8 feet, and then another 10 feet back. And it's like, oh, that's where it all went. And I've got 3 lines now. I've got 3 separate rail lines that
Yeah,
are all interconnected with switches, but for the most part, they're individual tracks.
yeah.
So,
Cool. Well, Dwight Curley, rail artist, John Dilly, Grandpa Rails. Thank you very much. And Sparky,
yep.
super chatting himself.
Yeah, I saw that.
Uh,
Sean, I'm gonna have to run. I will catch y'all later.
okay, sounds good. Well, thanks for stopping in, William. William, it's been nice
Oh,
to
you're welcome.
chat with you.
All right, it's been nice chatting with you too.
Yeah, have a
You have a
good
good
night.
one, guys. You
Yeah.
too.
All right. So we're getting to here. Well, we got 7:45, and I think what we'll do is we'll go through some of the gifts for the Sparky's Christmas giveaway. Oh, we want me to put the chat up in the link? I can do that. There we go. Thayer Subdivision Productions. So we'll go through what we got laid out on the table here. Sparky has a bunch of his channel t-shirts. They are all triple XL. He has a bunch to give away. We have, just as an example, Nathan DeLay is going to do some of his fine handiwork, and he's going to do the giveaway from his channel. So him and Sparky will coordinate that. And if you haven't seen any of Nathan's work, it's quite incredible for what he works with. We have from Woodland Scenics the Earth Colors kit. And this kit comes complete with white, concrete, stone gray, slate gray, black raw umber, burnt umber, and yellow ochre. Randall, how are you?
Make sure I turn my camera on and see if that does.
And from Intermountain, and this is from Roy, the bi-level auto rack Canadian National. HO scale. There we go. Really sharp looking car. Look good on somebody's layout. And we have in O scale a DT&I 2-bay hopper. There we go. Thanks, Roy. Helix help. Sean needs to eat too. Sparky didn't leave any. No, he didn't. I thought there would be Burger King or something here when I got in, or maybe pizza. No. Here, this one's for you, Roy. And next, it is from Downtown Deco and Scale Shipping Warehouse. Trying to get used to the glare. From TSG Multimedia, we have 4 DVDs. We have The Coaster, San Diego to Oceanside. Shasta Steam. Steam Fest 2 2010. And Locomotive 2472 in Niles Canyon. And that's from TSG Multimedia. Thayer Subdivision Productions. Next, we have the Woodland Scenics Ready Grass Vinyl Mat Landscape Kit. And I believe this was a leftover from and pay it forward from the last contest that Sparky had.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good there, Subdivision. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Good. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Good.
Just a rough day.
Oh, oh, that's okay, Randall. Maybe next time we'll catch you. Sorry, go ahead.
My gut was killing me all day. Dang, it's like,
Oh, that's not good. So we got
I made it.
good. Another item for the giveaway is the Saskatchewan 4-bay hopper in O scale. And another one from Roy. Or the shipping warehouse was from Roy as well. Container Man 68, I believe. And this NCC Power Cab Complete DCC starter set from Roy as well. Quite generous. Sure, a lot of people out there were like that, including myself. We have a red caboose, HO scale, ready to run, refrigerated. I think it was refrigerator. Yep, mechanical reefer. And we have an EMD SW 1500 switching locomotive, Broadway Limited, Paragon 3 with the Rolling Thunder. That's pretty nice. And what else have we got? We have from BFG Rail, he's donated iconic replica of gray coach lines HO scale bus. And while we're on the topic of buses, Sparky, you haven't seen this yet, but my wife has donated another iconic replica, limited edition, Great Canadian Coach Lines coach.
Color of that.
It has a lot of the great places in Canada. There's a mural on the side of the bus. We have a KD's car, Christmas box car. And am I missing anything? I myself have donated 2 CAT construction pieces of equipment, the CAT backhoe, glare, and the CAT excavator. And also, Sparky, I haven't seen this yet. It's a bare trestle jig for HO, single trestle. So if anybody's looking at putting a nice trestle on their layout, you've got that. And also let everybody know that there is a $50 Mini Prints gift card to be given away December 25th at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's provided by Bernard. Sparky is still going to be going to Otter Valley Railroad to pick up all the gift cards that people have sent in there, and he's doing that on the 18th. And also Michelle Kempema has a bunch of rail cars that she is donating. Randall, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How are you doing tonight?
Oh, doing pretty good. Cooking a little supper tonight.
Oh,
Hey,
good,
Randall.
good. I hope you're enjoying the live stream tonight.
Say it again.
Sean, I got a locomotive with a funny backstory to show you.
Sorry, what was that? I didn't hear you.
I've got a locomotive I'm going to show you with a very funny backstory.
Sure. We love backstories.
Now, if I can figure out how to turn the camera around.
I'm gonna have to keep my camera turned off, Sean, because every time I turn it on, it kills my signal.
Oh, sure.
There we
That's no problem, Randall.
Okay.
This locomotive here.
Okay. What's the backstory on that?
It's a Lionel Southern 040, and I had it given to me about a year ago now, and it was covered in mud. I
Oh,
had taken it over to a one of the club members in the Locomotive Railroad Club, which is the same that Randall goes to, and I had taken it to one of the members there that works on a bunch of O gauge, and I was showing him it. He put it on track, not coming out of it, so he took it apart, took the whole frame and everything, took a toothbrush and some dish soap, and ran it under the sink.
Okay.
We had put it on track, ran like it was brand new.
Did it have must have had a bunch of lubricant and that built up in the motor, and the dish soap probably broke it all down and cleaned it up, I'm guessing.
Well, the people I'd gotten it from, they had found it in an attic. They were helping somebody clean it out, and they found the locomotive. I've got almost a complete set, except for the track and the livestock car. But it was completely covered up in mud and dirt and everything, and just took it underneath there and lubed it up, cleaned it, and ran like brand new.
Nice. That's a good attic find. It's good that it's working for you. Now, do you have a big layout?
No. I've
No.
been working on it,
Yeah.
but it's not very big. I am doing I mainly operate N scale, O gauge, and HO,
Oh, okay.
which I've been fascinated with trains ever since I was little. And my grandfather used to drive a semi, so I'd go out and rides with him, and there
Nice.
would be trains, and I'd be watching them. And then
Cool.
on my 6th or 7th birthday, I got my first train set, which was
sorry.
a box.
You're
It was
back.
a
Right?
box.
Sorry, go.
I was just gonna say sorry, Sean. It cut me off, so I
Oh,
had to log back in.
alrighty. So we were just hearing a story about this 040 O scale locomotive that was an attic find, and got it all cleaned up, and it's running like a top apparently, just with a bit of dish soap and some scrubbing.
Yep.
I haven't ran that thing in a month, but it still runs like it's brand new.
Well, it's good. Good. That's the way we want our locomotives to run, is like brand new. Unfortunately, they don't all the time do that, even when they're brand new.
Yeah.
I
The
wound up
first set,
getting- Oh, go ahead, Wesley. Sorry.
The first set that I'd gotten, it was Norfolk Southern Thoroughbred set. I burned out the motor in that thing within the first 2 or 3 hours.
Oh,
So
okay. Good night,
it's
John Tanzillo. Thanks. I'm quite enjoying the stream. Have a good night.
that, John.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Wesley. Sorry.
I had sent it back to Bachman. They had sent me a new replacement locomotive. They sent everything but the yeah, they had sent everything but the front coupler.
Everything but the front coupler. Oh, he's muted. Good night, Allie. We'll see you when you get home. Thanks for sticking around. Okay, good night, John. Thanks for joining me tonight. Dave BNSF, thanks. Thank you.
But anyway, what I was going to say was I wound up getting a free locomotive here a while back. It's been a couple of years ago, but this is kind of an unusual engine. I don't know if I've ever showed this engine on a video or not, but it's actually a Cox engine. It's an HO scale engine, but it's actually a Cox locomotive, but it was made by Athearn for Cox.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, I was at this yard sale, and this guy had a whole bunch of trains back there, and I bought a couple pieces off of him. And I saw that engine sitting there, and I said, "What do you know about the engine?" He said, "Well, so I don't know if it runs or not." He said, "I don't." He said he didn't want to sell me something that probably didn't run, so he just haul off and give me the engine. He said, "Here, take it. If it runs, you got a nice free engine out of the deal." I went home, stuck it on the layout, thing fired up and ran. So
good.
It's not a bad looking engine. It's a Santa Fe freight bonnet engine. So
okay. Well, free is always good if they work.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Now I've never heard of Cox before. Is it like a one-off, or did they only do like a limited run of things?
I would have to do a little more research on, but I know Athearn made stuff for them. Trying to think, there was another company that made stuff for them too, and I forgot who it was. But I know the Athearn stuff, because some of a lot of their stuff that was on the side of the box on that engine resembled the Athearn Blue Box kits. So
yeah. Sorry, just Possum Bayou just donated another $5. Sparky,
that's fine.
Sparky wants to see if I have any more hats in my box here, and I don't. But we got this one here. So this is for Possum Bayou, Rusty. Thank you. Sorry, Randall.
Oh, that's all right. That's good. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a good run engine. It looked real good. It don't have any of the window glazings in it. So
do you plan on
that?
Do you plan on stripping it down and putting window glazings in that in?
Oh no, I'm leaving it as is.
If it ain't broke, we'll fix it.
The only thing I replaced was the air horns. It had the air horns broke off of it. So I went to the local hobby shop up here in West Plains and ordered a set of air horns for it, stuck on it, and a couple of new Athearn coupler covers. So
okay,
put those two on there, and
it
looks good.
Good. Glad you're happy with it.
Yeah, and right now I've picked up a bunch of Atlas U36Cs. And I'm still waiting for two more to come in. They haven't arrived yet. I looked them up on the tracker, and they sent them to dang Fayetteville, Arkansas instead of Mammoth Springs. So They're actually on their way
Jeez.
from Fayetteville to Mammoth. I don't know
Like-
how they got that confused, but
I can't
Oh,
say
well.
I wish it would have.
I've gotten any locomotives for free. I have had a few good deals at train shows and swap meets and that.
I had a good deals at auctions too.
Yeah, I've never done any auctions. Like I kind of stay away from eBay, just because we're up here in Canada, and for what you would have to try to get something on auction, the shipping would kill you.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I was at auction at Salem, Arkansas one time, and they had a whole ton of trains down there, and I was not expecting to see that. When me and Dad went down there, this guy's place, he had all this custom furniture and stuff. It looked real cool, but I wasn't really into that stuff, And we was just kind of looking around. And I told Dad, I said, I don't really see anything here that I can't live without. I said, I'll go around to the back of the house and see if there's anything cool back there. I said, if there's nothing back there, we'll just go on back home. Walked around the back and they just started carrying out these boxes and boxes. Said, okay, now I'm interested. And it was a late part of the summer. I mean, it was blistering hot. It was mid-90s, high humidity. Jason, the train freak, could probably tell you that's pretty much typical Arkansas weather down here. It's high humidity and high heat in August.
Right.
But anyway, they finally got around to the trains, and the auctioneer said, "Okay, I'm going to sell everything in one lot." He said, "But if there's anything anybody wants," he said, "you better speak up now." Or he said, "I'm selling it all at once." And I said, I took out these 6 Athearn ready to roll. They call them beer can tank cars. They're little short tank cars.
Short ones, yeah. And N
Wesley-
scale really short.
Leslie's seen them, so he knows what I'm talking about. But and there were 6 of them, and I said, "Okay, sell these right here by themselves," because that was the ones I was mainly interested in. He said, "Would you give $5 a piece for them?" And I said, "Yeah." And I was the only bidder. Got them for $5 a piece.
Wow, nice.
And I carried those cars back. Came back, and they was selling another stack. And I asked the auctioneer, "What are you selling?" And they said, "I'm selling this stack." Right. It was right there in front of me, and I looked down. It was 2 6-pack Athearn ready to roll ore cars, 4-pack of roundhouse passenger cars, and there was a little trackside Waller's kit. And I said, "What are you trying to get out of him?" And he said, "Right now I'm trying to get $6 for the whole stack." And I said, "Okay, I'm your man," and wound up getting that bunch for $6. So, I've told that story many times, but that was probably my best haul I ever had.
Have you been following the chat at all, Randall? Containerman 68. He wants to know: is there a hobby store in a car repair shop in Thayer?
Yes,
Yes, there is.
That would be Roger's Hobby Shop and McPherson Muffler Center. But I will say this: Roger retired. I didn't know this till about a week or 2 ago. But the original owner of that store retired, and his son is currently running it.
Oh, he retired?
That's what I was told, Wesley.
That's new news to me. Because I was fixing to head over there sometime.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody.
Next couple weeks.
They said, "Oh, yes."
Well.
Wow, that's an odd spot to have a hobby shop in the car repair shop.
It's in a muffler shop is actually what it is.
Whenever you first walk in, there is shelves and shelves of O-gauge items.
Yep.
And then in the little corner off to the right, you can find HO and N-scale stuff. He's got a couple GP15s in there. 2 BN, and I think a Frisco DCC non-sound.
Yep.
I don't remember the price on them.
He had about 146 on them, Wesley. I think is what they was when I was in there last.
Hey, I just want to say, hey, hi to David Atkins. It's good to see you stop by.
He's good.
Sparky here, and
MTH
in here as well. And
I was just,
take care, Steve87. Peace out. We'll see you on the next live stream.
He's got an MPH SD70 Ace in there too in the BNSF scheme. I've got
I
to make
was-
for that engine.
I was thinking about getting it, but I didn't have the money at the time.
There is a hobby a train store in Montreal, and you wouldn't know it was there. You've got to go through a company that does street sweeping. You've got to go through the yard with all the street sweepers and equipment, and it's like
I
a
think
little office sort of setup.
Yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about. That's the one SMT Mainline went to.
Yeah, correct.
I saw
Yeah,
that video.
It's on his video. Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, I'll be
I
right back. I'm
I don't
basically
know
eating dinner.
how long it's been there. I was actually born and raised down in that area. Mind you, I was still pretty young then, but I don't recall it ever being there. But it could be something that's just popped up since
Yeah.
then.
I was going to say I did see something kind of interesting when I was coming back from Memphis last night. I met a vehicle train at Sedgwick, Arkansas, and about 2/3 deep into the train, I noticed this light coming from one of the auto racks in that train. As I passed it, there was a car sitting in that auto rack, and the flashers were going on it. And I sat there and thought about it. I was like, well, should I radio the crew and let them know what's going on or what? So finally I did. I said, hey, I just passed your train a little bit ago, and I said, you got a car in one of those auto wrecks with the flashers going on it. So
Oh,
that was
Yeah,
kind of, I don't know if they backed it in there and they left the flashers on or what. But I thought that was kind of odd. I thought I was seeing things when I went by it.
you'd probably never see that again. Hopefully, it wasn't a long trip for that car. The battery would be dead by the time it gets there.
Yeah, it's possible it left Kansas City that way because that's where that train originates from. So it's a Kansas City to Birmingham, Alabama train
Yeah.
is what they usually are.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good night, Closet Branch. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by and supporting the channel. And anybody that's still here, if you want to show some love to me, you can see my channel at, as the name says, Sean McGee. I'm sitting at 128 subscribers now and have actually a few good videos on there, railroad related. Not much in the way of layout related yet, but yeah, I do have a few good videos if you want to check them out. And don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, and you know the rest. So we're getting on to about 8:15 here. Hey, hello, Val Brooks. I think we're going to cut you guys loose, Wesley and Randall, and we're going to wrap the show up.
Good.
Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, looks like we represented the Thayer sub well.
Yeah, yeah, you are. Okay, have a good night, guys. All right, well, before we cut this live stream, I have put together a little rendition of The Night Before Christmas, Sparky style. So I'm going to read it here. 'Twas the eve before Christmas, and all across this land, not a modeler was stirring, not even this man. The stockings were hung from our layouts with cheer, in hopes that Sparky's gift giveaway soon would be here. The STS crew were snuggled in bed, while visions of kit builds danced in their heads. And Wilmer in his jammies, and Roy in his cap, had just settled in for a calm winter's nap, when out in the shed there arose such a racket. I jumped from my bed and grabbed a warm jacket. I ran to the window, nothing short of a dash, flung open the door, and tripped over the trash. The glow of the yard light lit up where I was and gave visions of Vinny. You know him, the cuz. When what to my befuddled eyes should appear but a miniature Dodge Journey and 8 tiny deer, with a lanky old driver so witty and quirky, I knew in a snap it must be Saint Sparky. More speedy than snails, his groupies they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Digger, now Fenris, now Bobil and Galton, on Raider, on Eltham, on Bailey and Saunders. To the back of the yard, to the top of the fence, run away, run away, run away, gents. So all round the city, the YouTubers they ran, with the dodge full of gifts and Sparky demand. He was dressed in a wig from his box on the floor, and his clothes were all work-like, wrinkled and wore. A sack full of gifts, he looked like a shopper, and was flat on his back. Oh, as I came back, sorry, I missed a page. As I came back inside and was turning around, down the laundry chute came Sparky with a bound. He was dressed in a wig from his box on the floor, and his clothes were all work-like, wrinkled and wore. A sack full of gifts, he looked like a shopper and was flat on his back. His eyes, how they watered, his hair, what a mess, his nose like a cherry. He'd been boozing, I guess. The beard on his chin was white as the snow. Hey, wait a sec. That's not Sparky, I know. He had a broad face and a little pot belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was lanky and smart, a quite jolly old fart. The wipe of his eye and a twist of his neck, soon I realized, Sparky, what the heck? He spoke not a word, but went right to his work, and picked all the numbers, and wrote with a smirk. And placing his finger aside of his nose, and giving a grin, up the chute he rose. He sprang to his dodge, to his groupies gave a yell, and away they all drove like a bat out of hell. But I heard him shout out as he tore out of sight, Merry Christmas, model railroaders, and to all a good night. And having read that, we'll see you guys Christmas, December 25th at 4 p.m. Eastern for the Sparky 107 giveaway. Take care, everybody. And it was great to see you all here.